educational program. Mike?
It's not only me, it's also Cheryl.
Oh, sorry, I
But
just
that's
saw your
okay.
name. I think
Thank you, your Shaw Toastmasters, for having Michael Gauthier and myself to do our Pathways presentation. Michael Gauthier is your Pathways guide, so he will be your go-to person for questions after Pathways does the launch in Region 6, District 86. I'm the Pathways ambassador. I'm basically the cheerleader for Pathways. I forgot my pom-poms this morning in such a haste, but I'm here to encourage you all on your Pathways experience. The first half of the presentation is mine, where I talk a little bit about the program itself, and then I will pass it over to Michael, and he will get into the more nuts and bolts of what Pathways looks like. Pathways, how many of you have heard of the Pathways before? Gone to a TLI, a convention, conference? Okay, some of you. How many of you have no clue what we're talking about? Excellent. Well, we're going to help both of you tonight. So we're going to get, since Pathways has been introduced already to a number of districts around the world, the first thing we're going to do is hear a video from members who have experienced Pathways already. It was launched earlier this year, 2017, in several regions, and we just have some member testimonials to share with you first.
What I like best about Pathways is the fact that it's much
I
more
may be able to move it to the right
customized
screen
to
also.
what you may want to get out of Toastmasters, what your goals are.
It's basically Toastmasters updated.
The base camp is like having a personal coach. It guides you through the journey of Pathways and tells you the next steps.
One of the things I liked about Basecamp is that I can tell where
Very
I
soon it's
am
gonna be
in my
right.
journey and continue at the
One moment, please. Technical difficulties. Here we go. And everybody
What I
see
like
that?
best about Pathways is the fact that it's much more customized to what you may want to get out of Toastmasters, what your goals are.
It's basically Toastmasters updated.
The base camp is like having a personal coach. It guides you through the journey of Pathways and tells you the next steps.
One of the things I liked about Basecamp is that I can tell where I am in my journey and continue at the next step. I know exactly where I am.
I've used it on a computer, I've used it on a tablet, I've used it on a phone.
It's really cool that we're able to go on to Basecamp and take a quiz that determines what path best suits our needs.
One of the most surprising things about the assessment is that it gave me more awareness about what exactly I was looking for.
The questions were very introspective.
And the assessment was very intuitive.
Taking the assessment helped me really put a finger on my goals.
These paths are going to aid me in a more specific way than the previous programs did.
The path that I chose really gave me the step-to-step roadmap into achieving my goals.
There are 10 different paths. It's amazing how much opportunity there is for the future.
Pathways has led me to a whole new level.
I'm really appreciative that Toastmasters has this new, exciting format. After decades of having an old format, we are now up to date and we can determine which path best suits the individual.
So we're going to share with you tonight what is Pathways, why we're having Pathways, when Pathways is coming, and and how. How does Pathways look, and what's it mean to you? So as Ralph Smedley said, communication leads to the discovery of hidden abilities, broadens the person's conception, conception of how to live with people. It brings out brings out for use the leadership traits and abilities and thus helps to prepare the individual to be a leader. The new Pathways program will combine leadership with communication. Back in the 1940s, when Pathways was first introduced by Ralph Smedley, we had the basic training for Toastmasters manual. Then came the manuals we all know and love, the Competent Communicator and Competent Leader manuals. Now, Toastmasters International has decided that even now we need a more modern feel with more applicability to the modern world. So they're putting more emphasis on technology and more personalized learning, even more so than in the past. Just like Hulda Molin said, we learn in moments of enjoyment. Okay? Hulda Molins just said that? Nobody heard that? She quoted Ralph Smedley. And it's true. How many of you love your Toastmasters manuals? How many are you addicted to your modern technology? How many are you digitally dependent? I just heard that phrase tonight. Are you digitally dependent? Yes, we all love to play on our toys. What's great about Pathways, the new program will be completely accessible. You can get it on your laptop. You can get it on your tablet. You can get it on your iPad and even on your smartphone. It will be easily accessible in any format you will choose. The Toastmasters that we know and love now will still be the same. It will give you high value in learning, just like it is now. It will be fun and more interactive. There are all kinds of interesting information and tidbits on the new Pathways and what we're calling Basecamp. Pathways is the learning program, but where you'll get all your information and your learning base is called Basecamp. It will be completely customized to your needs. Again, it will be totally what you get out of it, interactive. You can choose to watch all the videos or interactive assessments. It's very easy to use and user-friendly. It's very flexible. Flexible meaning you can access it if you're not sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, you need something to do, you can log on to your Basecamp and play in your Pathways and present a speech. Competency-based, much like it is now in your Competent Communicator manuals, it is competency-based. Do you want to learn how to be a leader? Do you want to learn how to be a better speaker? Do you want better presentation skills? Do you want better impromptu skills? All of those will also be in Pathways and learned through Basecamp and learn by doing. It's resource rich. As I noted, there will be interactive assessments, quizzes, there's lots of videos and examples available on the web for you in Basecamp. And there is even more emphasis on evaluations. Toastmasters International felt that evaluations needed to be more standardized and with more guts to it. So they came up with a very specific evaluation form that's based specific on the project that you'll be giving. It's 3 pages, and we'll get to it a little bit later in the presentation. You'll see exactly what it's going to look like. What's going to be the same and what's going to be different? It's going to be the same. It's tailored, self-paced learning, just like you do now. Whether it takes you 3 years to get through your Competent Communicator or 10 years to get through your Competent Communicator, it's all up to you. Doesn't matter if you're a turtle or you're a hare. You can still choose as long as it takes and whatever comfortable level you have in the progress. Flexibility to choose the experience as well. You can get as much out of the Basecamp as you choose. You can spend as much time on it as you would like. Greater access to material, and you will see that once Michael gets into his presentation, it offers a lot of material for you. Right now, you're currently handed the Competent Communicator Manual, and that's all you get. These are the objectives. This is what your objectives are strived for. You can go and do some searching on your own on the net, speak with your other members, but this alone in your path will offer you a lot of opportunities to get some more information and help you learn as well. Greater access to materials, expanded resources, and Toastmasters International feels that it will have more real-world applicability, meaning stuff that you do today will be transferable from your learning and pathways, and you can easily use that in your everyday life, in your business life, your career, your family life, your social life.
Part of that is, for instance, let's say that you're going to get a new job and you are frightened about the interview. Now, Trin has the chance to go and do an interview, like a job interview as one of the projects. Or Tarani, you want to write a blog. There is an entry which is about writing a blog. David, you want to do a vlog, video blog, or a podcast, like an internet radio. Well, there is a project for that too. So that real world opportunity is much closer to what we're doing today and what our life look like than some of the older manuals.
So we have another short video that will explain a little bit more about what I've just talked about.
Welcome to the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience, an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to develop your skills and help others in your club develop theirs. Building on Dr. Smedley's original vision and Toastmasters' core competencies, Pathways upholds the club experience while offering new, revitalized educational content that helps you learn communication and leadership skills that address real-world scenarios. Pathways expands on the current education and leadership tracks by offering more than 300 competencies across 59 projects. These projects are divided into 10 specialized learning paths that allow you to tailor your experience to fit your needs and your pace. All of this content is available online, allowing you to learn anytime, anywhere, from your computer, laptop, or tablet through Basecamp. Basecamp is the place where you'll find all of the materials for your learning experience, along with tools for your journey. In Basecamp, you'll be able to share feedback with fellow club members, view badges you've earned, access and save digital speech evaluations, and more. When you first begin Pathways, you'll take an online assessment that will recommend the path that's right for you. You'll be able to access your path from your education transcript in Basecamp, where you can view and complete projects. New elective projects, such as write a compelling blog and manage projects successfully, allow you to tailor your learning to meet your interests. Projects in Basecamp include a variety of interactive elements, including questionnaires, quizzes, menus, and expandable content. Educational videos model skills and provide demonstrations of the concepts you are learning. For example, Prepare for an Interview shows effective and ineffective interview techniques. Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring demonstrates the difference between coaching and mentoring. And Manage Online Meetings provides the best practices and strategies for holding a webinar or another type of online meeting. As you can see, Pathways represents an exciting paradigm shift that brings with it many new learning opportunities. What's more, Pathways will feel familiar to you because it maintains the things you love about Toastmasters, including your club experience. Pathways is coming to your club soon. Visit toastmasters.org/pathways to learn more.
Doesn't that sound exciting? Are you apprehensive? I know you're all feeling a little apprehensive. Basically, your learning will be more online. Now, I did show you manuals. That's just an example. Pathways will be completely online. If you choose to go the old-fashioned route and stick with manual papers and your manual learning, there will only be 2 paths available in printed materials. All 10 paths are available online. So what will change, you might say, with regards to the club learning? Nothing. You will still come to your club, you will still experience all the other facets of impromptu speaking, giving evaluations, giving your presentations in your club environment. You will still have that wonderful social aspect, just that you'll have more available resources online. Your 10 paths will include 5 competencies of public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and competencies. But these are an example of the 10 paths available. Within these 10 paths are 5 of these competencies plus hundreds more that you will be developing within that path. So this is just an example of what you have to choose from. There will be more information online. As it noted in the video, the first thing you'll do when Pathways comes to our district will be that you will take an online assessment. And that will recommend, at the end of the assessment, it will recommend a path for you based on your answers. You don't have to choose that path. It's merely making a recommendation to help you. You can choose any one of these other paths. And you'll be able to click and see what's more involved in that path or choose another path. Maybe it's going to recommend leadership and development. However, you really want to focus on presentation mastery and building public speaking skills. Perhaps you aspire to be Roger Caesar one day and a world champion of public speaking. But you really want to focus on something else. You can choose whatever.
So these, let's go back. So those 5 competencies there is what Toastmasters call core competencies. So those 5 core competencies are used throughout each one of these paths. So you see that, for instance, for dynamic leadership, we use 1, 2, 3, and a bit of 5. Public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, and confidence. If you look at the others, you're going to see that there is the same kind of division on those 2. Public speaking being the one going through all 10 paths.
So inside a path, this is what it will look like. There is more recognition in Pathways and through working through a path than there currently is now. You have to do 10 projects in order to be a competent communicator. That's when you'll get your first recognition and achievement. In Pathways, one path will have 5 different levels of achievement. Once you go through level 1, you receive a badge. Once you finish level 2, you receive a badge. Once you finish level 3, you receive more recognition. Once you've finished a path, then you are considered competent in that path. Within that path are other projects, as well as mentoring, and as well as evaluating. You'll see that in each section, there is evaluation and feedback in all of them. After you finish level 2, you can choose a sub-path of mentoring, which is specific mentoring, or you can choose to only do a project on that and then move through the rest. It's a lot more involved and there's a lot more material on it, but each path has a thorough explanation of what's involved in each. But this gives you an example that there's a lot more recognition in Pathways than the current CC and CL. There are 59 projects to choose from, and it's available in 8 different languages. Should you choose to choose Spanish within your path, you can work in Basecamp in Spanish, in your home language. Badges and awards, what they're going to look like is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and then you'll get a special badge when you've completed the path. If you watch the video and paid attention, it also says that your fellow members can recognize you. These are special badges that your fellow members can also tap into your base camp, and they can award you special confidence badges, encouragement badges, teamwork, superstar badges. So it gives you more feedback from your fellow members as well. Everybody likes recognition and a pat on the back, don't they?
I'm sad to say though that it doesn't come with the Toastmaster shirt where you sew on your badges on. These are online badges.
Sorry, we won't be like scouts and be wearing a banner with all our badges on it.
Yes?
I'm just wondering, are they copyrighted? Like, could I get a tattoo?
That's a good point. You might have to license that. Let's see if we can get that through Toastmasters. At the end of your path, and once you've gone through all of your 5 levels, you'll receive a certificate of proficiency. Again, this is all online, but you can choose to print it and share it with your members. Put it on your bulletin board at home, put it in your Toastmaster manual. That is printable. I did touch on evaluations, and it's going to become a big part of Pathways. It's more specific. This is an example of what the evaluation form is going to look like. States the purpose, notes for the evaluator, and general comments. It has a comprehensive 1 to 5 rating, so that it's easier and quicker to use. And it's going to be project specific. And the last page also gives you some other notes of rating 1 to 5 as well. This is not going to replace your evaluation. This will help your evaluator give an oral evaluation.
So this is to assist us so that we get more consistency throughout our evaluations. So it's not going to be like, yeah, he's pretty good. I put 5 on everything here right now. There is specific goals that you have to come up to get a 5. So on vocal varieties, use the tools of tone, speed, and volume to perfection. If your speaker hasn't done that, he or she is not worth a 5, so he or she knows that he has something to work on.
So would the evaluator go online to do this?
Good question. There are several ways an evaluator can complete this for you. You can print it for your evaluator and give it to him at the club. If you have a member working from a laptop, he can do it from your base camp. Apparently, so I'm told, is he can go in and do it online for you. Or if he has printed it, and after the evaluation has been given, you or your fellow member can upload it into your Pathways base camp. So it can be done manually or it can be done online. And if it's done manually, it can be uploaded and scanned and saved in your Pathways base or your base camp path. So it's, again, very user-friendly, and it's saved in for posterity so that you can go back and look at it and see where you need to improve or what you've done well to move forward in your paths and your learning. It's very, very easy to navigate base camp and your Pathways path. Did that answer your questions?
Yep.
There's also a very specific path on mentorship. Again, moving forward, Toastmasters International wants a more consistent mentoring program. So after you complete level 2, you can choose a subpath of the mentoring program and be a Pathways mentor.
And the mentor program is the only path that doesn't cost you anything more than time and effort.
Could you explain that, the cost on the others?
Yes. So first of all, we're going to talk about, I'm sure you want to know when Pathways is coming.
It's actually coming on a later slide, so if we can wait till that slide.
But once you are into Pathways, once we're into Pathways, your path as a current member will be free. If you so choose another path, you don't like the path that you're in, it will cost you $20. It's kind of like when you get an advanced manual now and you decide you really don't like it, Toastmasters, and you order another one, Toastmasters International charges you, I don't know, like $5 or $10 to buy another book. Very much the same thing. Okay, when you become a new member, you get your Competent Communicator and your Competent Leader Manual free because you're a member, you've paid for that. It will be the exact same with Pathways. Current members will be given a path for free. New members will be given a path for free. So if you choose a second path, some people are very ambitious and want to do 2 paths at the same time, they will need to buy another path. The only difference is if you're a member of 2 different clubs, some people have dual memberships, you will be entitled to 2 paths because you have 2 memberships in 2 clubs. But the mentorship path is a sub-path in a path. So there's no charge for this extra mentorship path because it's kind of a sub-path leading off from a path, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope. Did I explain that right?
Yes.
So then,
so the path that we are talking about, is that a project? Or? So what's the difference between a project and a path?
there are projects within a path. The path is the title that you choose or the program that you choose. Dynamic leadership, the other paths.
So the 10 paths that you had listed there?
Yes, a project is...
How many paths do we have? 10?
10 paths,
Okay.
59 projects to choose from.
Is Pathways something that should be used?
Pardon me?
From 1st of November, we have to, every new members from that time have to go in to Pathways. The old program is gonna disappear altogether 2 years after Pathways introduced to the whole world. But from 1st of November here, every new member will be part of Pathways.
How it's going to work is in Region 6, which District 86 is part of Region 6, we are officially, Toastmasters International will be officially launching Pathways on November 1st. So as of November 1st, all new members to enroll in a club will automatically be enrolled in Pathways. They will have no choice. They will not receive any Competent Communicator manuals, Competent Leader manuals. They will automatically be enrolled in Pathways. Members like you and I, who are already current members, will have a choice. You may choose to stay the course with your Competent Communicator manuals, your Advanced Communicator manuals, your Competent Leader, Advanced Leader projects, for however you choose until Pathways is introduced worldwide. Once Toastmasters International has rolled out Pathways to every member, every region, every district, every club around the world, then 2 years from that date, you will have to stay on the traditional program, the current program that we have now. So basically you have probably about 2.5, maybe 3 years if you choose to stay on the current manuals, paper manuals. However, you can choose after November 1st to abandon that and go on Pathways and start something new and fresh and exciting, or you can even choose to do both at the same time. It will be your choice as a grandfather Toastmaster.
Okay, so
You
if
can even dabble in both.
So if I decide on November 1st, okay, I'm going to start Pathways, do I have to pay?
No,
So-
because you are a current member already. Not at all.
What will happen to Easy Speak?
Nothing.
Easy Speak is not a platform that is Toastmaster International based. It's an actual separate, it was designed by somebody else.
Malcolm.
And
So what happens with Easy Speak right now is that Toastmasters is working very hard together with the guy who made up Easy Speak. So from 1st of November, we will see the learning projects that are part of Pathways also in Easy Speak. So as a club, we can continue to use Easy Speak even after.
it's not a platform that came from Toastmaster International, that actually came from somebody else who designed it for his Toastmaster club, and it's caught on. However, Toastmasters International realizes how good of a system it is, and they're going to try to integrate it somehow, I believe.
So if you choose to follow the new pathways after November 1st and stop using the traditional, what happens with your progress that you have made?
Good question. Very good question. Your current achievements, your current recognition, your current CL, CC, A, CB is not transferable into Pathways. You will be starting fresh. You will not lose all that accreditation, certainly. What you've achieved is what you've achieved. However, from Pathways, you are starting new, you are starting fresh, because it's completely different.
Michael mentioned that the old manual only lasts for 2 years after Pathway start to be in action. So if someone who could not finish their old program within 2 years, then what would happen to them? Let's say someone would just finish their CC and do not want to start with Pathway. It wouldn't, 2 years wouldn't be enough for them to get their DTM, then what would they do?
Well, in essence, they have a choice. They can either stop on the current path and start with Pathways and continue there if they realize they can't continue within the allotted time period. Otherwise, they put on the burner and really try to get it within those 2 years. There's not going to be a grace period where they say, well, we're going to be nice. After it's launched in the whole world, 2 years after, it's a cutoff date where we cannot submit anymore to Toastmasters the old manuals.
District 86, Region 6 is in the third rollout. So we are currently in rollout number 3, and there are 8 rollouts scheduled worldwide. So we anticipate that maybe by the end of next year, they will have completed all the rollouts. So for example, by December 2018, they're done. They've introduced Pathways all around the world. Now they say, okay, from 2 years, January 1st, you will have another 2 years to finish all your older printed material manuals. So they anticipate by 2020, hopefully you will have had enough time to achieve your DTM in the current program.
Yes.
How long is the payment valid for?
What do you mean, for your path?
For the $20 fee that we talked about.
Well, as a member right now, when you become a member here right now, you are entitled to 1 free manual or 1 free path. We haven't heard about a time limit to when you need to do that. I would recommend everybody to, on 1st of November or the days after, to log into Toastmasters, to set up your profile and be ready. If you don't start in the next 5 years, that's okay. You're set up on Basecamp and you can go.
Actually, Michael, I recommend everybody to go on to Toastmasters International and log in now. That will set you up with an email and a password, or a login and a password before we launch, to know that you're logged into Toastmasters International. Then November 1st, then you already have your login access. So I'd ask you to actually go in now. And even now, you can go on to the Pathways portal or Pathways site and actually experience the first Icebreaker project. You can actually click through it, do the assessment. It gives you a little personal assessment of what you want to learn. You'll watch a video, you actually click through the projects. It's very interactive right now. So I encourage you to go into TI, go to education, go to the pathways, and then look on, I think it's even called the icebreaker. So I ask you to just get familiar with it right now, because it's really neat how you can actually experience that first project. And then actually log in as a member, and if you can't log in, email members@toastmasters.org so that they can set you up with access immediately.
So I know that you guys have more questions. We have 15 minutes to do the rest of our presentation, including question and answer in the end. So we're going to suspend the questions a little bit until we are at the end of the presentation.
Okay, so I'm going to pass
The torch.
to Michael. He's going to tell you a little bit more about what to expect in Basecamp.
So you all know that when you're going to go to Basecamp, you will have a way of making sure that you choose the right path. And how will a computer page know that you're choosing the right path? A survey?
Test.
Test?
You can take a test.
Perfect.
Test.
So we take a test, and it's an assessment, a survey, whatever we call it. It's a way for them to apply their algorithms to our answers and make sure that the paths that they are recommended for us are the one that's best suited for us. How do we do this? Well, when we log in, and as Cheryl said, log in right now, you know your username and password, hopefully. You can log in, just verify that they are correct. It's the same username as many of you already have through EasySpeak, so you should already have it. When you come in there is something called the Navigator. The Navigator is your online manual for how this pathway thing works for you. So there is an online one. Just to be on the safe side, we also have a non-online one that Devendra has right now. I've given Devendra a package that includes 25 navigators where you can go in and you can read and you can find out more about how to access the program. That's a navigator. It's one of the first things that you encounter when you log on to Pathways. We have the Basecamp. The cost for Basecamp is $20 unless we're going in as the members we are right now. If you choose another path, you pay $20. Or if you want to stick to printed materials, there are two paths available, two paths only, available through printed material, and the cost for those are $45 each. It gives you a chance to work through a paper manual if you want that instead. It will not be as resource rich as the online experience because it's hard to get a video directly from a paper manual or an interactive quiz. So the first thing we do after we read the navigator is that we do an assessment. We choose our language. And then we select the topics we're interested in. Public speaking, motivating others, and interpersonal communication is this person's response. I feel relaxed while giving a speech. This person says that he disagrees. And then they are recommended 3 paths. The first path this member is recommended is dynamic leadership, or if they don't choose any one of these, this one, they get persuasive influence or effective coaching. You always have the possibility to choose any other path. The next page, if you choose to not click on any one of those 3 first paths, the next page is the rest of the paths. If you click on read more, you get the same kind of blurb as you get here, where you can read a little bit more about the path. I urge you to think in a new way when it comes to pathways. You cannot think manuals anymore. You cannot think about the way we have used our manuals. We have a persuasive speaking. It's this project, this project, this project, this project, and these three in the middle, I can't really stand. What I gotta do, I'm gonna hate this path. This is not how the path is working. The icebreaker, we always have an icebreaker in the beginning of a path. We always have an evaluation in the beginning of a path. And we always have a leadership project in the beginning of a path. After that, there are some obligatory projects that we have to do for a path, but there's also elective ones. And you get to choose from a wide range of projects. The 10 paths we have right now and the 59 projects we have today, that is the starting point. Pathway is, as we're talking, developing more paths and more projects. Did I go the right way? I did. So after you've chosen your path, you're into pathways, and you can go in and you can continue into pathways and your learning experience. Our learning experience today is competent communicator or competent leadership. That will give us a CL and a CC. We build on that, and eventually we get our DTM. We go through ALB, ALS, Advanced Leader Silver. We go through ACB, Advanced Communicator Bronze, Silver, and Gold, and then we can get our DTM. We can get our DTM also through pathways. By doing 2 paths, we get our DTM. So for those of you who know the current educational program, knows how the manual works, you realize that to go through a path, it's going to give you much more competencies than what we have in a current CC or CL. It's going to give us much more opportunity to learn. The meeting is going to look the same as it does today. There's not going to be any change yet, unless Devendra chooses to change something. You sign up for a speech and receive evaluation. That is going to be the same. The added bonus is that David, you're making a speech and Lindsay is your evaluator. You want Ron to make an evaluation for you too. When you come home, Ron, you can log on to the computer and you can give David an evaluation. Or you can write an evaluation and you can scan it into David's path. So you can get more than one evaluation on a speech. And right now, you also know that we all get these small tabs from everybody where it says something. Well, everybody has the chance right now to go in and help. If you want to, you have the chance to, after the meeting, go in and help and say, this is what I thought about your speech. Club members support and give feedback. We have that today. Feedback is also available through Basecamp, just as I said. You receive recognition, just as we do today. As Cheryl said, we also get the online badges that we can get and we can give each other. The icebreaker is your first speech. The icebreaker today is our first speech in the CC manual. In Pathways, we have an icebreaker for each path. If you do all 10 paths, you're going to do 10 icebreakers. Your Vice President Education tracks your progress. There's no difference there. Speeches last 5 to 7 minutes. It's exactly the same now as it will be then. We have 68 competences that are available through the current program, and currently in the new program we have more than 300. And right now we have 2 tracks. We have a communication track and a leadership track. Through Pathways, we will have 10 paths. We want to get our President Distinguished Club points, just as we always do. 8 out of 7 years. No, 7 out of 8 years. That's our club. We are getting President Distinguished. Now we can do that now too. So this is the old way of getting the points for President Distinguished. If all of us went to Pathways at that time, that is the new way to get that recognition.
Because we are starting in the not quite in the middle, but we've already begun our Toastmaster year. Your Distinguished Club program this year will be a mixture of the current programs, CCs, AC, ALs, and level 4, or level 1s, level 2, level 3s. So any mixture of these will qualify for President's Distinguished, Select Distinguished, Distinguished.
So we only need to get 6 of those. And that shouldn't be a problem, should it? Should it?
No.
Fantastic.
No.
Thank you.
Easy peasy.
There is a support team. So it's the trio, the district leadership team, the chief ambassador, which is Jocelyn Vecina. It's the ambassadors, Cheryl, and the guides, Hua. So we are going to be your support team. So we here right now before the Pathway teams rolls out. It doesn't feel very supportive now, does it? We have a little bit more on our shoulders than that. It's our duty to be your resource for 6 months. For 6 months, we have to be here to answer your questions. We have to each set up 8 virtual meetings where you can call in or you can be part of an online meeting and we can discuss your questions and get answers to your questions. But we will do that. I will not have 8 meetings for this club. I will have 8 meetings for the 8 clubs I have. And same with Cheryl. For the 8 clubs she will have a meeting and share the experiences. Exactly how that is going to happen, we don't know yet. We're going to have to try to figure out which platform we're going to use. But whatever platform we're going to use is going to be something easy for you. This Pathway Kits is something that I given to Devendra. So it has 25 navigators, it has a welcome, it has a description of the DCP points, has a pathway pin or 3 pathway pins, and a USB stick with a presentation. It's not this presentation, but it's a presentation. What is your favorite browser? David, what's your favorite browser?
Google.
Google Chrome?
Google.
Browser. Not.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
okay,
Google
Chrome.
Chrome.
That's mine too. You can't use it. With Pathways, you can't use it. It's the only browser I know you can't use. Most of the things you do in Pathways, you can use Google Chrome for. But Google Chrome doesn't support the Java platform that is used through Pathways, through Basecamp. You can use Edge, you can use Windows Explorer, you can use Safari, you can use Firefox, you can use, but not Chrome. I have been able to use Chrome for most of what I've done there, but I know that some of the interactive elements, I have to go to another browser. There is a button up on top where there's, now you're going to know that I'm not speaking English normally. Check compatibility. Compatibility. There it was.
Compatibility.
Yeah, I can learn that word. If you click on that, when you have your browser open, it's hard to do when you don't. But if you click on that, it will tell you if there is something missing. Navigating Basecamp, we will know what that is very soon. Right now, I've never done it. I've seen this PowerPoint presentation, and I've seen some of the tools. Cheryl's never used it either. We have never used it. We don't know what it is. Hopefully, we'll see it at the same time as you guys, 1st of November. But we have enough, they have given us enough foreknowledge to at least share it with you. There came that dreadful word again. Yeah, I know, it's dreadful. So, before 1st of November, please log on to TI. Make sure your username and your password works. If not, make sure that it will work. If you need help, Devendra is here to help you to make sure you can log in, or you can contact TI directly, but then you need your membership number. If you just have forgotten your password, there is a forgot password prompt that you can use. Log in now, make sure you have access. On the 1st of November or the days after, please log into your Basecamp. Take your assessment, see where it leads you, and see that you can sign up and you can see what pathway is all about. And you can choose the first path. If you choose a path and you decide this is not something for me, after you open the path, you got 30 days to return that path and choose another one. When you have chosen a path, you can look it through and you can see what projects are part of that. And as I said, if you feel that that path is not yours, choose another one within 30 days. Question and answers.
Who's ready and willing to receive Pathways with vim and vigor?
Okay.
Just clarification, you said 30 days to return a path, and I take it that's without having to pay the $20?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
How often can that happen?
Only once.
Only once.
Only once.
I want to add to something Cheryl said. So I'm part of 3 clubs, where I will be as soon as Brenton talks shorter. I still only will get 2 free paths. I get one for my first club, one for my second club, and for the 3rd club I don't get anything. You can get a maximum of 2 free paths.
So, like we reached DTM through the 2 paths over here, we complete the level 5 to get the DTM.
2 level 5s.
2 level 5s.
Yes.
Plus many of the other leadership projects that we're familiar with right now. Fulfilling a district role, doing a high performance leadership project, and something else.
You will see as soon as you get into it.
There are other things as well, not just completing the pass, but there's other things that are very familiar with what we do right now.
But DTM is still there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I will forward a description of all the paths. I will forward that to Devendra so he can send it out to the whole club so you can see what it looks like. And that document also shows you what is going to be the new path to DTM. Yes, David.
Okay, so like right now we have let's advanced communicator bronze. So you've got kind of recognition there that the whole world can see. Yeah, you're advanced communicator bronze. What levels would people out there see?
When you go out with your ALB or ACB, you will still have that on your badge, or it will still be after your name, on your name tag or whatever. You don't lose that. If you're half the way to an ALS, you have not got your ALS, you are just half the way through your ALS. That will not show up. Your ALB or ACB or any one of these wonderful abbreviations that we're using, any one of those do not help you anything in pathways. It's still something you have done. I will get my DTM before pathways roll out. I will try to get my DTM by this spring. I will always have my DTM. When I start pathways, I will start with Nicebreaker. That's my first project in pathways. When Bob starts his pathways, he will also start with Nicebreaker. There's no difference. If you're on your CC, if you're starting right now, if you have any designation, you will not lose your designation. It will still be there. But you start your new path with a Nicebreaker. Yes, Ron?
I have older versions of Android, and they do not support Java. I don't believe. I don't know if any of the newer versions of Android support Java. That's a problem because Android is the largest operating system out there.
Yeah. Which made me very surprised when they didn't have support for Java in Chrome. I don't know what other, I know that there are other browsers, mobile browsers you can use with Android. And I don't know how well they will work.
But this is the operating system itself doesn't support Java.
I will check that out and I will come back to you.
And does it come in color?
Yes.
Oh, everything is in black and white.
No, it's colored.
I didn't want a black tattoo.
It's mainly
You can get a color tattoo if you like.
Okay, any other questions?
Millie, you had a question?
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah.
2? You only allowed 1.
Okay. So let's say if I finish my DTM in the old path and also passionate to explore the new pathway and I get another DTM. Does it mean after my name gonna be Millie Learn DTM?
No. No. They're already now. There are several Toastmasters that has more than 1 DTM. You only get recognized for 1.
Okay, I got you. So it's all for learning experience, right? I'm already excited.
Exactly.
Thanks for sharing. And I have another question about officer roles. So Michael, you mentioned in the presentation that VPE may have special access to track members' progress. So does it mean all officers gonna have access? And then we can see how good
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I can say is that our VP Education and our president will have access to the educational progress for everybody in the club.
Yeah.
And I also know that if you have a mentor here in this club or in Brampton Talks, your mentor will have access to your path.
Yeah, okay.
But as far as I know now, those are the only 3 people that will have full access except yourself.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
If you do have any other questions, feel free to email Michael or myself. We are your go-to people from now till, as he said, 6 months after we roll out Pathways.
Yeah.
We will help you through as much of it as we possibly can, knowing that it's very user-friendly. However, we recognize that probably the VP of Ed and the president will have the most amount of questions, the most challenge, because they will have the full access to everybody's. But if
Now
you
the
have a
vendor's
question-
going to have to tell us how long break we have.
Okay, we thank you for your time, and we're going to pass it over to.
We already into the break. Thank you, Sheryl and Michael, for conveying this great information. We will have a very short break, so please, whoever has to use the bathroom, go and come back. Ideally, we have to start at 8:49, which gives us only 1 minute. Put some vim in your
Yeah.
Some vim in your